Okay. So welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Megan Lynch. I'm one of the owners of our brand new company. And then my twin sister is on here as well, but she's momming today as well. So it's her daughter's 21st birthday, and her kids are age 6 to 27. My kid, I'm almost an empty nester,
28.
28. Right? So she has four. Um, my kids are almost, one's getting ready to graduate and one is getting ready to be 23. So I'm about to be free. I'm excited about that. But Reagan, do you want to go ahead and say a few words before we get going?
Yes, you can make me co-host as well. I raised my hand so you could see me.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on, I'm going to spotlight you too. And I'll spotlight myself somewhere. Okay. All right. Oh, wait, Reagan. Wait, let me mute everybody out real quick. Okay. Floor is yours, sister.
Oh, I just want to say hello to everybody. It's a little loud out here where I am, so I'm going to stay muted and off camera because I'm outside. But welcome. Make sure that you guys are reaching out to the people that you've already shared this opportunity with. Get them on this call. There's 149 people on here. There is almost 1,100 people in the Telegram. So if you're not in the Telegram, make sure that you get in there. But we have almost 3,000 people who have opted into this opportunity already. So it is growing like a wildfire. So we're super excited. I want to pass it back over to you, Meg. If you need me, I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much. So let's get down to business, okay? Because it's 12:08 and I want to, keep this call short but informative. We're going to take notes today, but I'm going to take notes a little differently. I'm going to take it on a notepad so you guys can see what you should be writing down. And again, for those of you who don't know, my background is in education. I spent 17 years in the classroom in one of the largest high schools in the nation, over 4,000 students. I really truly got the entrepreneurial bug, my twin sister and I, early on when we were like 5 years old, and we realized our parents weren't giving us any money. So literally in our small town in Princeton, Indiana, with one high school and everybody Black was related to us, it was a true community though. We grew up around so many different types of people. So it wasn't hard for us to be able to venture into different markets. And we spent a lot of time when we were little trying to figure out ways to like create bracelets, write notes and sell them. We were doing everything door to door. And then we used our twindom, because everybody loves a twin. And we kind of used that to our advantage. Then we ventured into, getting our careers. Reagan spent over 20 years in the customer service space. And then I spent most of my time in the classroom. While I was in the classroom, I realized that there was a need. There was a lot of young people who, number one, didn't know anything about money. And then I had a heart for my young males because I lost my best friend to gun violence when I was 19. And that kind of threw me into a whole different space because I had never experienced anything like that before. So, long story short, I got involved in entrepreneurship. I met some really phenomenal people who had made millions. I remember one of my partners was making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I remember him telling me, like, oh, that guy never made any real money. He only made like 50,000 a month. And I'm like, what? I just kept my mouth shut, but I'm like, I want to make 50,000 a month. Fast forward, we got into an opportunity in the education space. And in 90 days, I went from not having to having. My team went from not having to having. And I learned how to do things belly to belly. We started our own company, Reagan and I. We pre built inside of our company for 30 days. And people made anywhere from 500 to 50,000 a month in the first 7 days that we flipped the switch because we know what we're doing. And I don't mean to sound arrogant, it's confidence because I know what I'm doing. I've done this before multiple times. That's why it's hard for me to go into other people's companies because I know exactly what you need to do to make sure the field makes money. And the number one thing you can't do is be greedy, because the in these bigger network marketing companies, they make a lot of money, because I've been on that side, right? Then I don't understand why everybody can't make money. And as a builder myself, the last thing I want to do is get into a company that doesn't have a good sustainable product. So you're going to fall in love with what we have. And we have multiple phases, but we keep things simple as well. Because I do not like to get into companies and there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 products or bundles to choose from. It's overwhelming. And when people have to think, they think long, they think wrong, right? So that was one key thing, is that we may have things that people can get, but I just need to know, like, this one or that one, which one? That's how we made all of our money, because we didn't have a lot of options, but the options weren't good then. Our options are phenomenal for you guys. Our price point is phenomenal. We're not going to talk about price point right now, but I will tell you when we will talk about it. So we're going to take notes on that. Also, I want you guys to understand that the most important thing in a network marketing company is the product, but it's also how the structure of the company is set up. I don't do binaries, right? Like where you got to build two legs and it sounds good. I despise binaries. I will never work a binary, because the average person cannot make money in a binary. You got to put in a gazillion people. And then one of your teams, you got to think of the structure like teams. If a binary, well, if you have this big leg, you don't get paid on this one. So you got a whole team of people over here who you're not working with. So now you're over here working, and it's just, I don't like them, right? I don't ever do them. I don't care what the product is. If it's a binary, I'm not doing it, because you have to work too hard to help your people. So don't do them, right? I also only do things where how do I say? I need to get a word for this. Where the person who isn't going to build, the average builder, right? And they're average for two reasons. They just haven't tapped into their greatness yet. That's it. If you're an average builder, you just haven't tapped into your greatness yet. And if you're an average builder, you just haven't gotten into alignment yet with the right people. That's it. It's not because you don't have a good network, because there's billions of people everywhere. So the structure that we have, guys, the matrix, we're at the top of it, right? So if I'm at the top of the matrix and I only have 3 spots, and then 9, and then 27, and then 81, and then 256 on this level, that's how I hit 100,000 a month in 90 days, because I just had to duplicate 3 7.5 times, right? So we did that. The only problem with that structure, even though we made a ton of money, the only problem with that structure is Alvin, I could put 1,000 people in your leg one and you would never get paid. Never. Uh, Angelique, I could have put 1,000 people in your leg one and 1,000 people in your leg two, and you still would have never gotten a check in that company, because you had to have balanced 3 legs, right? So you really had to balance 3. Everybody type in the chat empire. Type that word and put it in your notes. Type the word empire, because we're only talking money on this call. And I'm going to give you more information every single day that you get on, more tidbits about the product, more tidbits about what our focus is. But you guys have to think of your downline like empires popping up, and you need a king or a queen to run that empire. So in this structure, what you guys are going to find out inside of the matrix is that you're getting ready to have an entirely new network of people, because you're attached to some queens, right? You're attached to some queens that believe in building solid empires. And some of you guys will get positioned, and one king or queen will fall into your empire, and then potentially another king or queen, and it might inspire you to go find your own king or queen to get into your empire. And now you have a whole new network, right? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense to you guys, right? you're getting ready to get an entirely new network. So don't worry about if your cousin or brother or broke uncle who's always asking you for money but never wants to join your opportunity. You cannot worry about right now those people who don't see that you're building an empire. You're getting ready to get a whole bunch of kings and queens inside of your new network. And guess what? We know all those people. So, Anthony from the UK, if you see somebody in your empire, in your kingdom, because we're on kingdom business, I do want you guys to understand that, right? And I'm not going to get up here and start preaching and shouting and doing all that, but I want you to understand that we are truly on assignment. And a long time ago, we wanted to build, we wanted people making 100,000 a year or 100,000 a month. But guess what? I don't think we can do it in anybody else's program because they don't think the way that we think. And they don't share the wealth the way that I believe they should be sharing the wealth. That's why their empires usually crumble after a year or two. I want our empire to be an Amway type empire, right? I want it to last forever. So let's get down to business and let's get to this money. Okay. How many of you guys are with me? Just put me in the chat if you are with me, because we got to get in alignment real quick. Okay. We're going to get in alignment and we're going to take some notes today, and you're going to get dates today. You have to promise me not to hold me to every single date, because if something's not right on this particular date, we might have to move it one day, but the bigger picture stays the same. We're still launching in February, so we're going to write some dates down. Okay. So if you guys can do me a favor, if you can shut your videos off for just a second, because when your video's on, it interrupts my feed. So just for a minute, if you can shut your video off, and then that will help me to be able to see a little better. Okay. So you guys know Reagan and I are coming out of retirement. We already talked about that. For the month of January, we are teaching the compensation plan. But in a week, you guys are going to be getting into the back office. So this stuff is going to happen really fast. And I'm going to tell you the philosophy behind it. We're going to write it down in our notes in a second. Okay. So things are going to happen really fast. We have the month of January to build for free, basically, to build as fast as we possibly can, and to find people who are willing to lock their spot for $25. And I'll tell you why we're doing it like this. And then in February, 17th is our projected date. That's my son's birthday, actually. We want to be able to flip the switch. So, but you're going to know right now what you need to prepare for, okay? I do want you guys to understand that note takers are action takers. So you got to be consistently taking notes. And I am a visual learner, so I don't hear well sometimes because I have too much information, so I have to write it down. And action takers are always money makers. So you cannot sit on the sideline and say, receive a request to record to cloud.